Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai 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 Ram Om.
Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai 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 Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram J
Ariyam, you were beaten, huh? You were beaten? You got beaten? Not you. Kitty, അല്ല റോളിൽ പറയില്ല, ഇങ്ങനെ ലൂസ് ആയിട്ട് 1/2 കിലോ ഇങ്ങനെ കിട്ടും. 1/2 കിലോ മേടിക്കാം. 1 കിലോ മേടിച്ചാലും പ്രശ്നമില്ല. റോളല്ല, ജസ്റ്റ് ഇങ്ങനെ ലൂസ് ആയിട്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടാവും. ലൂസായിട്ട് ഇതിന്റെ ഇത് ഇങ്ങനെ കിട്ടും. ഇത് RC മാർട്ടിലെ കിട്ടും. ഇങ്ങനെ കാണിച്ചാലേ അവർക്ക് 140 റുപ്പീസ്. ഇത് ഒന്നല്ല, അതിൽ ഒന്നല്ലേ 3-4 ഉണ്ടാവും. അതൊക്കെ 140. ഒന്നിനെയല്ല, ഒരു പാക്കറ്റ്. ഇത് RC മാർട്ടിലെ കിട്ടും.
Harium sir. Back.
Back.
I am back.
He wanted it to be every day 4:15.
Oh, I see.
I mean, just 4:15 every day we can read little.
Every day new tradition, Swamiji.
Every day?
4:15, Swamiji will read reverence to
4:15 minutes?
At
4:15.
Acha, 4. Now it is only 3:30.
Yeah, you have 45 minutes, your choice, Swamiji. 45.
അടി അടിക്കണം അവര്.
We are giving you 45
என்ன வேണം 45 മിനിറ്റ്സിൽ என்ன சொல்லு
What do you want from now? You got
45 മിനിറ്റ്സിൽ என்ன சொல்லு சும்மா ஒரு சாய்ஸ் ഉണ്ട്.
Chalutuma. The Yoga Vasishta I can read something.
that's the best, Swamiji.
Yoga Vasishta.
Yoga Vashishta.
ബുക്കെല്ലാം ബുക്കെല്ലാം തിരികെ ഏൽപ്പിച്ചു.
Oh, why?
പോയി
Again.
Oh. All good things.
Come to
I didn't want to say it.
She said all good things. All good things, she said. And she stopped there. I said, come to an end. I said, come to an end.
ആത്മബോധം ഏതായിരിക്കും അപകടം. ഭക്തിയിൽ എന്നാ വേണം റീസൺ.
Swamiji,
We get in Narada Bhakti Sutra. Swamiji can talk.
Swamiji, Vishwamata Krishna Bhai, lot of bhakti is there. Vishwamata Krishna Bhai. Even gospel, some areas.
Very sweet it is. Yes.
Very
You
sweet.
feel as if you're sitting in front of Papa and listening.
Very sweet.
Very sweet. Yes.
Swami can visualize Papa and that. Which one, Swami?
Vishwamata?
ഗോസ്പൽ എടുത്ത് പറയൂ.
Gospel, huh?
Gospel is inside. I'll bring it.
Vishwamata, okay.
Yeah. It is inside his bag also.
അത് എന്നാ വേണം ടോപ്പിക്?
Gospel of Swami
Faith. Faith and blessing, self-adulation, milk the best diet, no ill will. Tapaswins have creative marks of a Jivan Mukta, strictness in sadhana, corruption even in ashram. Lifestyle with problem, food plenty. Papa's favorite, sadhana, bhakti and sadhana, bhakti, 21.
Everything is spread, Swami.
21. (46 to 30).
Instrument, please.
Chapter 3.
That's why it caught my attention.
Yeah. 31 to 46. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om.
Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Some portions from Gospel of Swami Ramdas. Anandashram, August 15th, 1951. It was 7 a.m. and Papa was sitting on his chair in the bhajan hall near the radio. Some devotees were sitting in front of him. When Swamiji entered the hall, Papa was holding in his hand the book Stories of Great Bhaktas in Hindi. As he opened the words Sadhana Bhakti and Sadhya Bhakti, caught his eyes. In the course of the talk that followed, he observed, the devotee at first aspires to realize God. He tries to think of Him always. He repeats His name. For him, God is somewhere in the heaven, or in temples, or he meditates on Him as residing in his own heart. Finally, by the intensity of his aspiration and devotion, his mind gradually becomes pure and he gets darshan of God in the form in which he has been conceiving of Him. The devotee realizes finally his oneness with Him. Bhakti up to this stage can be termed as sadhana bhakti. Even after this realization of God, that is, after having realized his oneness with Him, the devotee still desires to maintain a sort of relationship with God as between mother and child, master and servant, and so on. He subsequently sees his beloved everywhere. Nothing else exists for him but his beloved. He is one with the beloved, and at the same time he is also his child or servant or friend and loves him as such. This love of the devotee of his beloved does not arise out of desire for anything, not even for any spiritual attainment. This love is for love's sake, for the pure joy of love. During his period of sadhana, the devotee considered his God as different from the universe, and so he rejected the universe as something unreal. Now he sees the whole universe as the very manifestation of God, his beloved. There is nothing for him to reject. So this love for God, which persists even after realizing His presence everywhere, is known as Sadhya Bhakti or Parabhakti. Some jnanis do not accept this stage of bhakti. Having realized their oneness with God, they do not go beyond it and see the whole universe as His very manifestation. They consider the world as mere illusion, as non-existent. When Ramdas was wandering in ochre robes, whenever he was asked to talk, he talked about bhakti and parabhakti. Some of his sannyasi companions naturally did not subscribe to his views and told Ramdas that his dress, name, and talk were inconsistent with each other. He was wearing ochre clothes but was named simply Ramdas, which was not proper. He should either wear white clothes or change his name to one ending with Ananda, or some other suffix usually adopted by sannyasis. They further asked now, if he were a sannyasi, he could talk about. They further asked how if he were a sannyasi, he could talk about parabhakti. Ramdas replied that Ram gave him the dress, gave him the name, made him to talk on parabhakti, and that until he commanded him to change, he would not do so. Any point that comes up? What is the relevance of this recording,
Inner Guru, Swamiji. Inner Guru. What is the question?
Inner
What
Guru.
is the relevant point? Relevant point in what Swamiji did?
No mention about that,
He listened to his voice inside.
வெளி வேஷத்துக்கும் நம்மளோட இதுக்கும் சம்பந்தம் இல்லைங்க. வெளியில உள்ள ட்ரெஸ்ஸுக்கும் இதுக்கும் பந்தம் இல்லைங்க. எந்த ட்ரெஸ் போட்டிருந்தாலும் நம்ம ஆக்சுவலா அது கூட கனெக்ட் ஆகும்.
Sadhana bhakti and bhakti after realizing God. Parabhakti.
That is Papa's interpretation. So many people objected that he being a sannyasi, there are two irregularities they observed. One is that his name does not end with Ananda. Second thing is, being a sannyasi, how can he talk about parabhakti? Anyway, we don't enter into that. It's not going to help us in our sadhana. Because he uses some clues about parabhakti. What is parabhakti? What is parabhakti?
Maintain a relationship with Him.
It is what is after realization?
Parabhakti is a state that comes after realization. So we need not bother much about it because to us it will be only a knowledge now. But at the same time, some basic idea about parabhakti. That means according to then tradition, or even it may be there also. The sannyasi who thinks about Brahman who is within him, he rejects everything. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. So Jagat is a Mithya for him. So, but Papa here says, the Parabhakti is the state where we see him everywhere. According to him, the stages are, he develops a bhakti to the Almighty Lord of the universe, either through a form or without form. And when he reaches that stage, he will find that his sister guru, he is there in everybody. So the moment we feel the presence of the guru in everybody, that is called, it is not, we will interpret it now. That it is not a bhakti focused to a particular form. Bhakti is given to all his creation. Parabhakti. I think that would be better to understand. He says, after having realized his oneness with him, the devotee at first aspires to realize God. He tries to think of him always. He repeats his name. For him, God is somewhere in the heaven or in temples, or he meditates on him as residing in his own heart. Finally, by the intensity of his aspiration and devotion, his mind gradually becomes pure and he gets the darshan of God in the form in which he has been conceiving of him. the devotee realizes finally his oneness with him. Bhakti up to this stage can be termed as sadhana bhakti, all our bhaktotamas. Even after this realization of God, that is, after having realized his oneness with him, the devotee still desires to maintain a sort of relationship with God as between mother and child, master and servant, and so on. He subsequently sees his beloved everywhere. Oh. So first we concentrate on the form, Ishtadevata, and because of our intense sadhana, we become one with that. And in certain cases, certain people stop with that. To them it's okay. Everywhere there is Krishna, everywhere there is Rama, everywhere there is Ambal, everywhere there is Muruga. They have also reached one with him, one with the deity. Then there are another category. Even after this realization of God, after having realized his oneness with him, the devotee still desires to maintain a sort of relationship with God as between mother and child, master and servant, and so on. He subsequently sees his beloved everywhere. Nothing else exists for him but his beloved. Everywhere. He is one with the beloved, and at the same time he is also his child or servant or friend and loves him as such. This love of the devotee for his beloved does not arise out of desire for anything, not even for any spiritual attainment. This is love for love's sake, for the pure joy of love. During his period of sadhana, the devotee considered his God as different from the universe, and so he rejected the universe as something unreal. Now that he sees the whole universe as the very manifestation of God, his beloved, there is nothing for him to reject. So this love for God, which persists even after realizing his presence everywhere, is known as Sadhya Bhakti or Parabhakti. So he is seen everywhere. Some jnanis do not accept this stage of bhakti. Having realized their oneness with God, they do not go beyond it and see the whole universe as his manifestation. They consider the world as mere illusion, as non-existent. In Brahmajanavali, where is it put? Brahmajanavali. First in Malayalam, English, Tamil, information, inspiration, general. No. Bhajansi PPT? Brahmajanavali. Asangoham. There. Shuddha Chaitanyam. Jnanam. Brahma Satyam Jaganmitya Shivo Brahmaiva Navara Anera Vedyam Swachastram Iti Vedanta Dindimaha. Brahman is real, universe is mithya. It cannot be categorized as either real or unreal. Jiva is Brahman itself and not different. This should not be understood as the correct Shastra. This is proclaimed by Vedanta. What does it mean? Brahma Satyam Jaganmitya Jivo Brahmaiva Napara. Brahman is real, the universe is mithya. That's what he says. Oh, Brahmajnanavadi. We have heard this, Nice to hear. Otherwise, what else we know? Nice to hear. Asangoham, 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 punapuna, sachidananda rupoham, ahamevaham avya. When we have read about this, what is it? Great void. Great void. You try to think. Asangoham, 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 punapuna, sachidananda rupoham, ahamevaham avya. Unattached am I, unattached am I. I am free from attachment of any kind. I am the nature of existence, consciousness, bliss. I am the very self, indestructible, unchanging. This is how it starts. So as if the great void is telling, then we will be able to understand this. Great void, suppose we give us, it talks to us. Asangoham, 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 punapunaha. Unattached am I. Unattached am I. Ever free from attachment of any kind. I am the nature of existence, knowledge, bliss. Existence, consciousness, bliss. Sachidananda rupoham. Ahamevaham avyaya. I am indestructible, ever unchanging. So here, Papa brings in that. That's why, if some jnanis do not accept the stage of bhakti, having realized their oneness with God, they do not go beyond it and see the whole universe as a very manifestation. They consider the world as mere illusion, as non-existence. When Ramdas was wandering in ochre robes, whenever he was asked to talk, he talked about bhakti and parabhakti. Some of his sannyasi companions naturally did not subscribe to his views and told Ramdas that his dress, name and talk were inconsistent with each other. He was wearing ochre robes, but was named simply Ramdas, which was not proper. He should either wear white clothes or change his name to one ending in Ananda or some other suffix usually adopted by sannyasins. They further asked how, if he were a sannyasi, he could talk about parabhakti. Ramdas replied that Ram gave him the dress, gave him the name, made him to talk on parabhakti, that until he commanded him to change, he would not do so. The Sri Krishna Vidyalaya students and teachers were celebrating the Independence Day. Papa went to the Vidyalaya at 9 a.m., witnessed the flag hoisting ceremony, watched the distribution of sweets to the children, saw them start on a procession. He returned to the ashram about 10:30. In the afternoon, Subramanya Iyer, Natwarlal Shah, and Swamiji were with Papa in the bhajan hall. Subramanya Iyer asked Papa to explain a paragraph in the vision, the ashram, relating to silent meditation. Papa, why do you want to discuss all these things? You had better take Ramnam constantly. These articles are for those who do not meet Ramdas often. You are here always and you have heard about it so often. Still Ramdas will tell you, when the mind is contemplating God, thought waves come one by one and subside in it. In between the merging of one thought and the rising of the another, there is a period of stillness, a state of complete absence of thought. This is pure consciousness. The aim of the aspirant is to prolong the period of the stillness and ultimately have it always. This perfect stillness is the state of samadhi. When you sit still, silent, serene, with all your senses at rest, in the awareness of your divine self, you feel that you are not an individual tied down to the desires of the flesh, but a purified and enlightened being. You feel that you are the infinite, not the finite thing. Now you experience your oneness with God, absolute existence. This experience comes to you after you have remained in a state of perfect stillness, which means samadhi. You have now achieved a state which has been yours from time immemorial, but of which you have been ignorant until now. Go on repeating Ramnam continuously, without any break, so long as you have got desires for worldly objects and sense enjoyments, or have worries about mundane matters, you cannot achieve the stillness and have real joy. You should completely surrender everything to God. Leave off your worries, feel light and free. By proper discrimination between the real and the unreal, give up the desire for worldly enjoyments, which are but ephemeral. The more you fill your mind with God, the less will be its desires for sense pleasures. Bhakti intensifies vairagya. Strenuous effort, regular practice will gradually fill the mind completely with God, and there will be no chance for worldly thoughts or desires to enter it. Now you experience immeasurable joy, and the moment you utter God's name, you go into ecstasy. Pointing to Sri Ramakrishna's picture on the wall, he was often in that state. He is called Bhava Samadhi. Subramaniya, what kind of repetition of God's name is advised, silent or loud? Papa, silent repetition is of course more efficacious. But it is very difficult where there are external disturbances. It needs perfect solitude. For one who is used to mental repetition of Ramnam, the moment he starts repeating it, the mind becomes perfectly still. Something connected with our sadhana. What point stays with us now? We have heard what Papa talked.
No, don't worry about meditation. Hold on to Ramnam.
Mental
That is
repetition.
mental. The moment you repeat it, the mind becomes perfectly still.
And gap between
And the gap between two
thoughts
thoughts.
is pure consciousness.
Then, crux you have not come.
Only asking question is not.
Asking questions is not.
There to practice.
How did this of reading, we are not applying our mind. As a sadhaka like us who are practicing Ramnam, some message, we have heard about this, but some clarity comes after this. We have heard about what? Mind is not getting concentrated. We'll again read, let us see. In the afternoon, Subramaniya, Natwallal Shah and us were with Papa in the bhajan hall. Subramaniya asked Papa to explain a paragraph in the vision relating to silent meditation. Why do you want to discuss? You had better take Ramnam constantly. These articles are for those who will not meet Ramdas often. You are always here and have heard about it so often. Still, Ramdas will tell you. When the mind is contemplating God, thought waves come one by one and subside in it. In between the merging of one thought wave and the rising of another, there is a period of stillness, a state of complete absence of thought. This is pure consciousness. The aim of the aspirant is to prolong the period of the stillness and ultimately have it always. This perfect stillness is the state of samadhi. When you sit still, silent, serene, with all your senses at rest, in the awareness of your divine self, you feel that you are not an individual tied down to the desires of the flesh, but a purified and enlightened being. You feel that you are the infinite, not a finite being. Now you experience your oneness with God, the absolute existence. This experience comes to you after you have remained in a state of perfect stillness, which means samadhi. You have now achieved a state which has been yours from time immemorial, but of which you have been ignorant till now. Go on repeating Ramnam continuously without any break. So long as you have desires for worldly objects and sense enjoyments, or have worries about mundane matters, you cannot achieve this stillness and have real joy. You should completely surrender everything to Him. Leave off your worries and feel light and free. By proper discrimination between the real and the unreal, give up the desire for worldly enjoyments which are but ephemeral. The more you fill your mind with God, the less will be desire for sense pleasures. Bhakti intensifies vairagya. Strenuous effort, regular practice will gradually fill the mind completely with God, and there will be no chance for worldly thoughts or desires to enter it. Now you experience immeasurable joy, and the moment you utter God's name, you go into ecstasy. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was that Bhava Samadhi. Which is better? Silent repetition is, of course, more efficacious, but it is very difficult where there are external disturbances. It needs perfect solitude. For one who is used to the mental repetition of Ramnam, the moment he starts repeating it, the mind becomes perfectly still.
Swamiji, in that stillness, you don't feel you are an individual tied down to the desires.
The gap between
And bhakti gives vairagya.
Bhakti gives vairagya, and in stillness, you don't feel that you are an individual.
Oh, then.
the gap between two.
Gap between two thoughts.
Stillness.
You have to increase that.
Then.
If desire is there, if desire and worry is there, then you won't get that stillness.
Worries.
Worries, desires and worries.
Desires and worries.
Out of this, what is it that we can try?
Perfect silence, solitude, repeating the Ramnam. Repeating the Ramnam in silence and solitude.
Repeating the Ramnam silently.
Occasionally, so go to solitude, repeat so mental
Gap between two.
Repeating Ramnam in solitude.
Solitude with
And
sometimes that because
then next is very important.
Then when the thought rises and the next thought rises, the gap which is there, we slowly try to stretch it.
That is the important thing.
in solitude we can do that.
In solitude it is easy, but here also we can do that.
But solitude is
So the important thing is whenever we chant Ram Nam, we let us try, whatever may be the outer or inner, circumstances. When we chant Ram Nam, let us try to feel the gap between two thoughts. Chanting is also a thought. So two thoughts. Because there he clearly mentions that it is pure consciousness. We must have been trying, but now we get more and more clarity. So when Papa said we have been repeating, 100 times, utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. So all of us must be trying. But probably we would not have been successful. One chanting, another chanting, it is so close, we try, we do not, in our usual chanting here, the gap is very, very, only when this new slow chanting started, probably it might have helped many people to know that there is a gap between Om and Shri and Ram, like that. Or Om Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram and Om Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram. So now, today Papa is talking to us that increase that, no? That is enough. Increase that. It is there from time immemorial, but you have not been aware of it. Which one?
Yeah.
Which one?
The pure consciousness.
The stillness. The stillness has been with us, we are not aware of it. So through Ram Nam chanting, we try to free ourselves from other thoughts. Tough job. We will keep on trying from other thoughts. And then a stage may come that even when other thoughts come, this process is going on, One thought, another thought, another thought. Gap is there, no? So not because only when Ram Nam chanting this gap is there. This gap is there always. Starting of a thought and ending of a thought. So now that is why he used to say there are 4 types of Rama. For stilling the mind, we have to systematically train our mind to go along with it. For achieving these 4 methods for controlling the mind have been suggested. Concentration on the sound of the name, concentration on some form or light, bringing in the God dimension to wherever the mind wanders. That is identifying everything with God. And lastly, trying to be the witness of the mind. By watching the mind, we detach ourselves from the mind and become witness of the mind. As we begin to watch the mind, it will gradually cease to be. The witness or awareness alone remains. Another method suggested is to consciously do everything so that the mind is trained to think of one thing at the exclusion of everything else. For this, what is needed is to chronologically remember everything that is done throughout the day. It is not possible. Every day we should also choose a time and place where we are not likely to be disturbed. There sit quietly and take to chanting of the name for half an hour, followed by meditation for 15 minutes. At the end of the 45 minutes, we should watch whether we experience a blissful state where body consciousness becomes dormant. This is the litmus test. Solitude is also an aid to inward journey. We have to now and then retire within ourselves. The thought of our real self should seize our mind, that the mind as such should cease to exist, and the radiance, peace, and joy of the divine should alone be revealed to us. We should know that life is intended for achieving this goal. So important point today is this. Thought waves come when the mind is contemplating, thought waves come one by one and subside in it. In between the merging of one thought wave and the rising of another, there is a period of stillness, a state of complete absence of thought. This is pure consciousness. The aim of the aspirant is to prolong the period of the stillness, ultimately have it always. This perfect stillness is the state of samadhi. Though it is very difficult, Papa has presented it in such a way that it is reachable.
Feels at least.
Huh?
At least it feels easy.
It is reachable. Now itself it can be tried through Ramnam or through watching any thought. Whether we are conscious of the ending of one thought and the rising of another thought. Easy way is Ramnam. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. There is a starting point and an ending point. We are conscious of it. We are aware of it. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Again, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. When we say again, there is a gap about which we are not aware. But there is still a gap. That is why we say again. Otherwise, why should we say again? Common sense says. But it is so close, we are unable to see the gap.
We won't pay attention to it.
So now when we do the slow chanting, the greatest advantage or the tangible gain is we become aware of the gap between one chanting and the another chanting. But if we are not trying to view it in that way, again it becomes a chanting, that's all. So today Papa is gently reminding us to become aware of the gap between two chantings. And then what happens? Because he has realized, he has mentioned it. To us, if we read this, it will be only a knowledge. So we have to see whether we are also experiencing the same. When you sit still, silent, serene, with all your senses at rest, in the awareness of your divine self, you feel that you are not an individual tied down. Okay, I'll go on repeating Ramnam continuously without any break. So long as you have desires, okay. The more your mind, I'm chanting the name of one who is within me. Suppose I keep on bringing, I'm chanting the name of one who is within me, who is behind everything. That is God thought, no? Who is behind every thought, who is behind the very chanting. So he says, the more you fill your mind with God, like this, the less will be desire for sense pressure. We don't bring it at all, no. I'm chanting the name of one who is within me, who is the life force expressing, who is the consciousness, who is the intelligence, who is the very sound, from whom the thought arises. So thought and sound, we can easily identify now, verifiable. So like that, when we suppose does not allow the thought to go outside, to be in this again, then it will fill the mind with God and there will be no chance for worldly thoughts or desires to enter. Now you experience immeasurable joy, and the moment you utter God's name, you go into ecstasy. So prolong the period of the stillness. Ultimately have it always. You have now reached a state which has been yours from time immemorial, but of which you have been ignorant till now. So the stillness between the two chantings, two thoughts. Not necessarily chanting. Chanting helps us,
Thoughts are always
Whether I am chanting or not,
thoughts.
that stillness is still there, no? The stillness becomes
Alphabet.
conspicuous. When we are conscious of the ending of the one thought and the rising of the other thought. So instead of something very important, very, very nice. Tomorrow we can read it in the morning also there. When the mind is contemplating God, thought waves come one by one, subside in it. In between the merging of one thought wave and the rising of another, there is a period of stillness, a state of complete absence of thought. This is pure consciousness. The aim of the aspirant is to prolong the period of the stillness and ultimately have it always. This perfect stillness is the state of samadhi. Okay. If Ramnami is not there, we may not be aware of the gap between the two. Thought keep on. So Ramnam helps us not only to control the thoughts, but also to make us aware of the gap between the two chantings. Ramnam is also a thought. But this thought is, the advantage of this thought is, we are aware of the gap between the two chantings. Whereas normally if we don't have Ramnam, thoughts are there. Pure stillness is there as its base. But we are not aware because simply the mind is carried away from one thought to another. Automatic. So we can infer, each one can experiment and see. But this is what we feel now, that yes, the gap between the two thoughts, it will be difficult for us to recognize. But gap between two chantings, it might be somewhat easier. Compared to the other one, it is easier. Because there is a fixed ending is there. Fixed starting and fixed ending is there. Whereas when we go along with the thoughts, we don't know where it has ended and the another one has started. Yeah.
Before one ends, another starts. Before one thought ends, another.
Overtaking.
They're linked to one another.
There is almost no gap.
Correct. So that is the advantage of Ramnam. Though Ramnam is also a thought, the advantage of Ramnam thought is that we become slowly aware of the starting and the ending, and the starting of the new one. So finally we can find the gap between the ending of one Ramnam and starting of another Ramnam. Whereas in our ordinary thoughts, it is difficult. We are carried away by it, and we don't know when it started.
Ramnam thought we are giving, so we know starting and ending. We are giving.
Ramnam thought because it is done by us. The other thought takes away us. We are not even aware. Correct. That's also right. So ultimately, zeros to Papa's saying is Ramnam thought and become aware of the gap between the thought. Try to capture the stillness. That is the important name. Ramnam chanting is not important. In the sense, we should not stop with that. Though Ramnam is important, what is more important is the gap between the two chantings. The aim of the aspirant is to prolong the period of the stillness and ultimately have it always. This perfect stillness is the state of samadhi.
This is between one sound and another sound.
You have to see, each one has to. We need not take everything literally. We have to try. Through our perfected experience only, we will be able to confirm this. We'll be able to confirm whether this is all right through our own perfected experience. Just because we read this, we store in our... No, it is not going to help us. We should see whether the stillness which is within us, that I think nobody will question, because somewhere that awareness is there. Now we have to become aware of the stillness. When we hear a song, when we hear a lecture, when we go through a text, everywhere there is a gap, there is a gap, there is a gap.
Just now telephone was ringing, Swamiji. I heard one sound, there is a gap next to start another sound. Suddenly it came into because we are hearing when suddenly there is nothing that heart came to ring.
Yeah.
And between suddenly when we are
And even if you sit alone, solitude, it is not a guarantee. The only thing is we are plugging the outer disturbances. That's all. Inner disturbance.
beginning with outer.
So that is why we start with a prayer, with some tune, no? So it quells. The purpose is made known to us. So for example, Brahmanandam Paramasugatam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dandvaditam Gaganasadrisham Tattvamasya Direksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavaditam Sargunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Those who know the meaning, they may travel with the words. Those who doesn't know the meaning, they have fairly an idea. Something is offered to the Guru, no? That will be there. That's a tangible gain. So this will quieten. It will unknowingly relieve us from the outgoing tendency. Or in a beautiful tune when it is sung. Mano Bhutyankar Chitta Ninaham Na cha shrotra jihve na cha grana netre na cha vyoma bhumi na tejo na vayu Chidanandarupa Shivoham Chidanandarupa Shivoham. What happened during this? For a change, relieved from all other thoughts, concentrate. So these are the methods through which we can try to go to the stillness. Suddenly to put a stop to the thoughts is a tough job, very tough. So that is why in our programs we start with this. And in Ramnam chanting various tunes, that helps us. Various tunes helps us to bring it back from its usual field. But unknowingly, what happens is we stuck with the tune and we don't go further. That's all. So now that also has to be done. That's all. Not that the different tunes are bad. No, different tunes are good. That which makes us to concentrate upon it, well, that is our favorite tune, not somebody's tune. Our favorite tune. So that which enables us to get concentrated. Now we should not stop. Now we should enter into what Papa says. One Ram Nam chanting, another Ram Nam chanting. And if we educate the tutor, the mind, probably it might also help to recognize the gap between every thought, every talk, every moment, which is the great void. So great void can be easily understood as stillness. Where there is nothing, no? It cannot be explained. I think it is there, the book, you know.
In the list of its synonyms.
Different windows.
Yes, Swamiji. Synonyms.
So instead of adding to our academic knowledge, we will let us try to understand this theme. So stillness means thoughts are not there. So thoughts are at the moment prohibiting us in not becoming aware. So there should be a technique by which the thoughts are set at rest. So that is difficult for us. So we bring Ramnam there. We chant Ramnam. So it removes all other dissimilar thoughts, gets fixed on one thought. This thought stops. Again Ramnam stops. This thoughts. Again Ramnam starts. Ramnam stops. Ramnam starts. Ramnam stops. Ramnam starts. Slowly we become aware of the gap between the two. Immediately, suppose we start, we may not aware. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. Now we stop. The two are combined together. Then later on Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. So now we become aware. Shri Ram, there is gap between. Then again, Om Shri Ram, in between. Then again we become aware. There is a change in the sound. Shri and Ram are different. There must be a bang. S-R-I or Shri, Ram, Jai, Ram, Jai, Jai, Ram. The whiteness and the words. We will try. Today he has given us some more points. And tomorrow, let everybody do some homework so that not that we should tell, but it would be better if you get any new revelations out of your trial. It will be useful for co-sadhakas. Otherwise, it becomes a knowledge again. Our mind has got a trick. If it is not supported by abhyasa, it will be filed in the books of our knowledge in our mind. You will immediately say, yes, it has come there. That means unknowingly we have filed it. Whereas, Papa, that particular word, what is that particular? If you want to understand Ramdas's words,
understand it through
in your perfected experience. And everybody remembers, no doubt. Everybody remembers every word, but there it stops. Not all. In search of Papa. Through mere superficial churning of thought, Ramdas's words cannot be understood. You can throw light on them only when you bring with you the blazing torch of your own perfected experience. Experience is gained by diving into the depth of your mind. Mere assertion of the truth is not realization. Realization means direct perception and experience. Seek guidance always from within. If what Ramdas says is in agreement with your inner voice, follow it. Don't accept Ramdas's suggestion without a sanction from within. The more a man becomes reflective and meditative, the nearer he approaches the true springs of life. I think tomorrow we can take up this insert to Papa. More interesting. Or this one. Something from this, something from that we will do. Okay. Anyway, Papa is giving gospel is definitely thought-provoking. Very important point he brought it today. Not that it's new, but some clarity comes. Да. Then give it to you. Today, instead of closing it with the 3 chanting, today we will close with 1 minute, closing our eyes and watch our thoughts. And see whether we become conscious of the change of thought. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram. Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram.